The rand was relatively flat in early trade, while other commodity prices such as gold and palladium were little changed on the day. Carmen Mpelwane, equity analyst at Absa Asset Management, joins us now to talk us through the latest business news. Good to have you with us on the daytime update, Ms. Mpelwane. Now, after starting the day flat in early trade, talk us through the latest moves.
We've seen the JSE weakening into this afternoon, down about 53 bips. That was largely driven, or is largely driven, by the diversified miners, seeing a weakness there, as well as the platinum miners, also seeing some profit taking off the gains that we saw in some of the retailers as well.
And the Bank South Africa Economic Transaction Index recorded a quarterly decline of 0.6% in September this year. Take us through this data and what it tells us about GDP data for the third quarter of 2021.
So the index gives an indication of, or is an indicator of, what the underlying sectors are across the entire economy in South Africa. We did see a decline of approximately 7% month on month, so September versus August, and as you've mentioned, quarterly down 60 bips as well. A lot of that is probably largely driven by the looting in July, number one, as well as the cyber attack that occurred in the ports as well. And we obviously off the back of the pent-up demand in the previous year as well. So we're likely to see a decrease in GDP for the quarter, and the guidance is probably under about 1% for the period.
Now, Stats SA is due to announce a bounce back in retail sales for the month of August. And with the release of yesterday's mining and manufacturing and now retail sales, what is South Africa's economic outlook looking like?
Yeah, so we're looking to see retail sales consensus looking for 9.5% month on month and 2% year on year for the month of August, as you've mentioned. We do know that in the last few days, the IMF has increased its guidance for South African GDP. So they've increased it by 1% to 5% expectation for 2021. Retail sales, as you know, for August was a bit slightly muted, and that was off the back of the impact of looting, and therefore we saw a lot of stores attempting to get back online. So that was a key driver for that. So we look to see a steady increase month on month, as I've mentioned. And hoping that the IMF sentiment is the one that will follow through in South Africa as well.
Let's focus for a moment on Murray and Roberts. They're expanding their offering in North America. Now, the group has acquired multi-trade contractor J.J. White in a deal that's worth 425 million rand. Talk us through that acquisition.
Yeah, so the acquisition is likely to be done through its U.S. subsidiary, CLO. And as they've said in the announcement, they're looking to expand both on market share, number one, and to monopolize on the newly to be acquired entity on their broad customer base. This entity is licensed or approved at least to operate in 22 states. So it fits into the alignment of them expanding across North America, number one. And part of the entire group strategy as well. We saw the share price down marginally this morning, so not a positive reaction to the news.
Carmen Mpelwane, thank you once again for today's market update.